Well, Richard Cross should be a fun matchup today with these two teams. A year ago for Oklahoma, the story was all Trae Young, the National Player of the Year. But, Tim, the story's changed this year. Christian James is the leader on this team.
Well, Oklahoma's more balanced. There's no doubt about it. They're probably better defensively, and Christian James is a better player than he was a year ago. He really can go get his own shot, not only from the three-point line, but mid-range, get to the free throw line as well. And for Wichita State, Marcus McDuffie is the old man, the improved player who's not injured this year. He's healthy, sprinkled amongst 8 freshmen and 4 sophomores.
You're used to seeing experience on Wichita State. That is not the case this year. 11 first-year players for the Shockers. We are underway. The shot clock did not start, so we'll take a break.
It's a little early, partner. 11 a.m. here. Good morning from OKC. So we're getting warmed up. We're getting the clock warmed up, and here we go.
Lon Kruger's Sooners off to a 7-1 start. They've made the NCAA tournament in 5 of the last 6 years. They lost this year for OU. Wisconsin. Down in the Bahamas. And a steal by Oklahoma. Calixte from the wing. The transfer from Maine. Too strong with the 3. Dexter Dennis the rebound for Wichita State.
Oklahoma going small. Jamani McNeese missing his 2nd straight game with the ankle sprain. And they were very effective from the perimeter against Notre Dame with this smallish lineup. 15 for 29 from the 3.
Illegal screen on Marcus McDuffie. Picks up his first foul. McDuffie, the senior from Patterson, New Jersey, played his high school basketball for Bob Hurley Sr. at St. Anthony in Jersey City. There's a turnover by Oklahoma. Calixte trying to get it over to Christian James. Wichita State gets it back.
Well, I never bought into the early game excuse, 11 a.m., because you practice that early on a Saturday. The always entertaining Greg Marshall last night. Only thing better than having a steak in Oklahoma City on a Friday night is chatting with Greg. And he was fired up about this opportunity today.
3 on the way, straight on, off the mark for Jamie Achenike. James loses the handle, and it's going back the other way.
The Bad News Bears early, and Greg Marshall not happy about the 3 taken right out of transition by Achenike, and he's made some shots as of recent, but he wants him down in the box.
Corner 3 on the way. A good look there for Marcus McDuffie.
There you go. Just need to break the ice, and McDuffie has just had a terrific season. Had a big game earlier in their win against Providence, and Wichita State is going to be a work in progress this year, but they have to rely on McDuffie.
Lob inside, Calixte, and then they kick it back out. Christian James short with the 3.
Marcus McDuffie has really shot the ball very well this year. He has an array of different moves, and 42% from the 3. He was injured much of last year. Never got into a great rhythm, but they need him with all this youth.
Feed inside, knocked away down low by Christian Doolittle. This Wichita State team, you're used to seeing a year ago 6 seniors on the roster for Wichita State. This year only 2 seniors. McDuffie the one with the experience, but 11 first-year players for Greg Marshall.
Well, when that happens, you get a team like that, first of all, you better be a positive coach and better have some patience, because you have to teach them everything from A to Z, layup lines, you know, how to put their sneakers on properly, and when to take their headphones off when the coach addresses you on the bus, which Greg talked about last night.
Offensive rebound for OU. Calixte has it stripped, ball loose, and now it's back to Oklahoma. As McDuffie trying to make something happen, flip it to a teammate, and he tossed it out of bounds on the sideline. 2.5 minutes in, the only points, a Marcus McDuffie 3 from the corner, giving Wichita State the early lead. James Odom into the lane. He's been so good this year, draws the contact, and he's got free throws coming up.
He spent most of the summer in that beautiful practice facility in Norman, and not only taking shots off the gun, but also working on his footwork, his body, his conditioning, his ability to make confident plays in traffic, get to the free throw line, and become a better defender.
Jamie Echenike picks up his first foul, the junior from Columbia. Christian James, look at the growth through his career. 3 points as a freshman, 8 points as a sophomore, 12 a year ago. And he's leading the Big 12 in scoring at 19.9 points per game so far this season.
The future in this business once he gets done being paid for playing at the next level, because he is an engaging young man. He's possible 4.0 this semester. Was worried about getting back to the room last night. They've got finals coming up this week, so a true student athlete.
That reminds you of yourself, right? You're always worried about getting back to study.
I always get back, watch the tapes, get our efficient boards ready. I saw your boards today. Mine cannot hold up to yours.
Feed inside, shot short. Manick got a hand on it. Quiet start for Brady Manick. This three off the mark for Miles Reynolds. Oklahoma will keep it on the offensive end.
The two grad transfers for Oklahoma, Aaron Calixte and Miles Reynolds, really have given them Oklahoma a big boost. With Trae Young leaving after freshman year, they needed to bring in guard help right away that could play with this talented group.
Manick from the elbow. Oklahoma has missed its first 6 shots of the game. 7 possessions, 0 of 6 shooting.
Manick shot the ball better in the Garden the other night against Notre Dame. He has not shot it well on the season, but he has rebounded the ball very well.
Wichita State coming off a win a week ago against Baylor. The final was 71-63, but that doesn't really tell the story. They led 43-9, had a 34-point first-point lead. At one point in the second half, Baylor cut it to 5.
I don't know if Greg gave his team a perfect 10 in the first half, but it was about as close as you could get, especially with a new group. I mean, came out and just blitzed Baylor. And to Baylor's credit, they didn't quit. They got back into the game in the second half. But Wichita State certainly has tested themselves early in the Charleston tournament, and then playing Providence and Annapolis with getting a win, and then of course today.
Shard Odom's into the game for Oklahoma. Baseline jumper won't go, and James pulls down the rebound. And that win against Baylor, Wichita State had first half runs of 12-0, 18-1, and 11-0. If we're going to see that in the first half today, as Oklahoma gets its first bucket of the game, Christian Doolittle ties it at 3.
Good movement off the ball by Doolittle, finding that gap to the rack.
Ricky Torres, teammate, good feed, but looked like Morris Adeze was ready for it. A little bit of a sleepy start in Oklahoma City.
You can look at it either way. Bad offense or really good hard-nosed defense. Getting after it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 60.
Awards show in Atlanta. Tyler Trent was in the house. How about that little picture with Kyler Murray, one of the Heisman Trophy candidates?
You look at those Heisman candidates and you hear them being interviewed. You know why they're there in New York. They're just winners on and off the field, and it's a pleasure to watch.
Tyler Trent was given the Disney Spirit Award, and an incredible honor. He has absolutely captured the hearts and the minds of an entire country over the last couple of months. Spoiler up, Tyler. 3 there for Oklahoma to take a 6-3 lead.
Well, it can only get better, because before that, Richard, it was 2 for 14 combined shooting and 2 assists, 7 turnovers between the two teams. So not to bore you with stats, but it can only get better.
Ajay Haynes-Jones lets a 3 fly. He's short. Offensive rebound for Torres. Lays it up. Shot it too hard. Another offensive rebound. Count the bucket for McDuffie. And a chance for a 3-point play.
That's where Wichita State has to impose their will. Their offense looks a little bit out of sync, and that's partially because of Oklahoma's tough man-to-man defense and good length out on the perimeter, but they can do a good job on the backboard, just crashing the offensive glass without McNeese on the floor today. Rick Marshall's teams have always been very good offensive rebounders, and again, just on the attack. You see Dexter Dennis, and he is a promising looking freshman for Wichita State.
All 6 points for Wichita State belong to Marcus McDuffie, playing in his 100th career game and a chance to reach the 1,000 career point plateau today. Thomas Pola has come in for Oklahoma. There he is with an offensive rebound immediately. No foul inside. And Pola with a little baby hook.
Goodness. It'd be something. That looked like a Sooner tight end knocking over a cornerback. It looked like a plow foul down in the box, but good touch for the big fella.
6'11", 267, and then those long arms create some problems on the defensive end. Transition bucket for Rashard Odoms.
Pola's going to get some minutes without McNeese on the floor, and need somebody to battle those shockers on the glass. He's impressed so far.
Johnny McNeese did not play in the win against Notre Dame earlier this week at Madison Square Garden, dealing with that ankle injury. Duffy short on the dunk. And then turnover as Haynes Jones dribbled it on the sideline.
Well, the players really haven't got into a flow yet. I think the Shocker fans who have traveled the 2.5-hour ride from Wichita are a little more up and ready than some of these guys today. McDuffie never misses that one.
It's the third consecutive year that these two teams had met. They met here in 2016. Wichita State got the win against Oklahoma. It was the first time that the two teams had played in 41 years. Last year they played in the downtown arena in Wichita, and Oklahoma got a win. Trae Young went off in that game. 29 points, 10 assists. Maybe his coming out party last year.
It was, but I tell you what, in New York City earlier this week, Christian James had his coming out party on a big stage. In the last 5 minutes of that game, he took over with big-time NBA-type moves just like that one he just made.
James grabs the rebound. 25 points and 10 rebounds for James. On the world's biggest stage earlier in the week, and how about a triple there for Christian James?
Well, the Thunder play here, and there's a man named Paul George that is pretty good. Christian James reminds me of him so far this season. Just can do a lot of different things. How do you guard him? Because he puts the ball on the floor, he's got great footwork, and he gets to the free throw line.
Free throws coming up here for Wichita State. It's Samaje Haynes-Jones, a 9-0 run for OU.
Great footwork, tremendous size, just sizes up the defense. Here's that move to the rim, just draws the contact and finishes through the contact. And then on the three, just tremendous balance, quick up and over the top.
Samaje Haynes-Jones, an 82% free throw shooter. How about that? 10 of 19 shooting, 10 boards, the 25 points. You coached in Madison Square Garden. I know you've been there a bunch. It's one of the truly special venues. I don't care where you're from, but if you're from Norman, Oklahoma, and you get to go play and have that kind of a night in that building, it's one you remember.
Well, I've seen players that have been there their 6th, 7th, 8th time on the floor, and they still walk out there and they're in a cold sweat because they're nervous about the whole place, the whole aura of the Garden, the world's most famous arena. But Christian James, in his first trip, is not to be denied, and I'll tell you what, he is a big-time player. As a guard, Richard, he's shooting 53% from the floor coming into today.
And 43% from behind the arc. It's been a good year for Christian James. All the enemies come into the game for Oklahoma. Number 24. Here's Jamarius Burton running the point for the Shockers. It's inside. He went right at Pola that time. Now James pushes it. Matt Freeman, number 5. Breakdown on the dribble, but Haynes Jones unable to finish.
Wichita State was not balanced on the offensive end of the floor. Everybody was on one side and too much one-on-one both ways.
Now Samaje Haynes Jones pushes it in traffic, can't get it to go. Eric Stevenson runs down the loose ball. Tough shooting early for Wichita State, 2 of 14 from the field.
Can't really get anybody open. They're kind of standing around right now. They need to get a little bit better ball movement.
Is that the biggest difference this year for Oklahoma, that their defense from a season ago?
Oh, well, everybody's a year older. Trae Young, as good as he was at times, lacked that total defensive concept that Lon Kruger is famous for, and that comes over time. You don't expect a freshman to step in and have to do that. And with the 2 grad transfers, and everybody else is a year older, and he's got some good veterans out there on the floor, and there's a push that's not called.
Wichita State has missed 12 of its last 13 shots. The Sooners lead it by 7. Let's benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research, and you can be assured that every dollar you donate, every dollar that is raised, is going directly to cancer research. Back with you in Oklahoma City Saturday morning. Oklahoma leading 15-8 over Wichita State. Samaje Haynes Jones with the drive. He's now 0 of 5 from the field. In fact, the only player that's made a shot is that guy, Marcus McDuffie.
I made sure he put that one home. The assistant coaches were barking at him the last time he missed the dunk. They said just lay it in, and that he did.
Wichita State's got to feel fortunate at this point to be 2 of 16 shooting to start the game, but only trail by 5.
They do, but they've really got to clean up their offensive flow. Too much one-on-one.
Offensive foul, Christian Doolittle called for the charge on the drive. His first.
That's a bad play by Doolittle and a good play by Wichita State to take it right in the chest, but there's nowhere to go. And you see the good defense by Echenike down in the box. He just slides his feet and takes one.
Lon Kruger got heated up a couple of minutes ago, right before the break. He thought that there was should have been a foul on Wichita State, and probably had a pretty good argument.
Lon gets a little feisty and barks. You know he has a reason. He picks his spots, and that guy is starting to heat up.
With that 3, Marcus McDuffie splashes his way into the 1,000-point club. 47th member of the Wichita State basketball program to have scored 1,000 in his career. And by the way, made it a 2-point game. Now a rebound for McDuffie.
Wichita State doing an excellent job the last few minutes, just getting up in the passing lanes. Good job help side protection and contesting shots and protecting the lane.
Ton of movement right now for Wichita State. They're looking inside to Echenike. Tough shot by Echenike. He's got free throws coming up. Fouled by Doolittle.
That's another bailout play by Doolittle out of the box.
2 great games coming up later today on ESPN at 3:30 Eastern. It's Georgetown and Syracuse from the Carrier Dome, and then at 5:30. Zion Williamson show rolls on. Number 3 Duke hosting Yale at Cameron Indoor. Those games on ESPN and on the ESPN app.
Well, Patrick Ewing knows his way around the Carrier Dome. He had some exciting moments there as a player, and interesting to see him storm the sidelines against the veteran James Arthur Boeheim.
You think they might have a crowd for that one? Georgetown and Syracuse in the Dome?
Called Coach Boeheim about getting a loyal cousin who's a great fan, just 1 ticket, and he hung up. So that'll be fun to watch.
A 9-0 run for Wichita State. We're now tied at 15. That's after starting this game 2 of 16 shooting. Lixty on the miss. Manick got another chance, and now Wichita State with a chance to take the lead. McDuffie for 3.
Manick just kind of rushed that last three. When he's on balance, he's leaning forward. He's a terrific shooter. Freeman, this guy can shoot it.
Too strong there for Matt Freeman. Ricky Torres goes way up for that rebound. I'd love to get Torres going from a shooting standpoint. He's 0 of 14 from 3 for the year.
Quick, contested shots and choppy ball handling.
8th turnover by OU. And there's one for Wichita State. That's their 6th. Freeman wide open. Dead center.
Greg Marshall really not happy with Jamie Akiniche. He just got caught running down to the paint and did not know where Freeman was on the perimeter.
Freeman made a couple of threes, had 11 points in the win against Notre Dame. There's turnover number 7 for Wichita State. 3-point lead for the Sooners, 7:19 to play first half. In half number 1. This Wichita State team under Greg Marshall has been not just good, they've been phenomenal on the road. Since the start of the 2013-14 season, just 8 road losses. 3 of those 8 losses came in overtime.
Well, he's just done an unbelievable job. We all know that. But this year's team has been impressive. When you talk about Landry Shamet going to the NBA, Shaq Morris, Connor Frankamp, Rashard Kelly, all not with the team anymore, graduating, and Austin Reeves, ironically, transferred to Oklahoma. So they just lost everything. They were gutted, basically, except for 2 players that you see out there today. They're hanging in there. I think they're going to be a factor in the American, probably in the top 5. Probably can't crack anything better than that. But a year from now, watch out, they'll be back.
Miles Reynolds with the bucket. A year ago, Wichita State finished tied for 2nd in the American in their first year in the league. The transition from the Missouri Valley to the American Athletic Conference. A really nice addition for that league in basketball. Stevenson on the drive off the window.
Again, the American is, in my opinion, very underrated. Houston is good again. UCF is terrific. Cincinnati is Cincinnati, as always. Temple looks very good. UConn's improved. Tulsa, good win over Oklahoma State early in the week.
Some shots falling all of a sudden. Jamal Bieniemy with the bucket. McDuffie. And the rebound to Reynolds. Only loss this year for Oklahoma. They're off to a 7-1 start as Bieniemy can't get it. Manick can't get the tip in to go. Only lost to Wisconsin. They played the battle for Atlantis. Lost that game by 20. It's a loss in transition.
And Ron Kruger, that gets him up. And that is not Oklahoma basketball there. He's not communicating, just leaving the best player, Wichita State, wide open in transition.
Feed inside to Manick. Couldn't handle it. And Duffy comes away. Isaiah Forbear-Chandler couldn't handle the pass.
I mean, look, Wichita State kind of sprinting up the floor. And Oklahoma, you see, they're kind of just jogging. They're not sprinting back and identifying and matching up. You see, coming back in transition, Rashard Odoms and Brady Manick just kind of half jogging like it was a Sunday morning, not a Saturday morning where they're playing a big-time team.
Reynolds fouled on the shot. Stevenson picks up his first. And Miles Reynolds goes to the free throw line, where he is almost automatic, shooting 90%. That's the best free throw shooting percentage in the Big 12. Tonight on ESPN, it's 3-time world champ and current WBA lightweight title holder Vasily Lomachenko squaring off against WBO lightweight champ Jose Pedraza in a unification bout at the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden. Coverage of Top Rank Boxing on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Begins at 9 Eastern.
Well, Reynolds has done an outstanding job. You know, you worry, you bring in the grad transfers. How are they going to fit in? Are they going to be overwhelmed by the level? But he and Calixte have really adapted well, and Alan Kruger's a perfect coach for that because he'll keep it simple. He'll play to their strengths, and Reynolds really has done a great job just getting to the free throw line.
Stevenson fires away with a 3.
Well, he's another one of those good-looking freshmen, and the Wichita State fans, they have to be excited about the future. With Dexter Dennis and Burton and Stevenson out there on the floor, all getting major minutes during their freshman year.
Into the corner, Freeman left alone, too strong with the 3. That 3 by Stevenson had to make Greg Marshall smile. At home, Stevenson has shot over 50% from behind the arc, but he was just 3 of 20 away from Koch Arena prior to that make a moment ago.
Well, both teams trying to just a little bit force the issue to get the ball down in the post. There's not a good passing angle. The post players aren't really working to get open down there. There's really nothing there, but they're trying to jam it in, and all they're getting either missed shots or turnovers.
Got a number for you you're not going to like. These two teams have combined to make 16 shots. They have combined for 19 turnovers in the first half.
We're trying to make it look pretty, but it's ugly, and it's going to get better. I have a feeling. But, you know, both teams are playing really hard defense. You have to give them credit for that.
Stevenson, this one rattled out. Echenike had it knocked away. We've got a timeout on the floor. Competitive game, low-scoring game. 3-point lead for Oklahoma. Inside 4 minutes until halftime. Both teams have had trouble holding on to the basketball in this first half. 9 turnovers for Wichita State, 10 for Oklahoma in the first 16 minutes and 15 seconds.
This is why when I teach our little second graders in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, pivoting, ball faking, dribbling with your fingertips, I show them these stats: 6 assists, 19 turnovers, the basics of handling the ball. But John Beeline still works on pivoting, and so does Lon Kruger and Greg Marsh. But when you're playing against hard defense, sometimes the flow gets messed up.
How are those second graders?
Well, they're without their coach this morning, so they're probably in better shape. We missed the game today, but this is a good, hard-fought battle. I think it's going to the offense is going to resurface here shortly.
Brady Manick will shove from behind. Foul on the floor.
That's part of the game you did not see a year ago from Brady Manick. He basically stood out in the three-point line and waited for Trae Young to dribble, penetrate, and draw the crowd. Kicked out to him for open threes. But this year he's mixed up his game. He's obviously stronger, he's tougher, he's rebounding the ball very, very well, 9 a game, but he's going down in the low box also to post up and draw fouls.
He's drawn those visual comparisons to a guy from French Lick. Christian James knocks out a 3.
LB, Larry Bird, all of Boston celebrated his birthday yesterday. It's almost a national holiday in Boston, but that was really bad. There you go. He had the buzz cut a year ago for Manick, but his teammates and coaches will get a little Larry look here for your sophomore season. But going back to basketball, good offensive play by Oklahoma, but just poor defensive execution, allowing James a wide open look on that screen-to-screener on the baseline out.
If he looks like Larry Bird, it looks like Johnny from Karate Kid. Remember the villain in Karate Kid?
Well, I think he's going for the Larry look.
Haynes Jones short on the shot. Oklahoma presses the issue, so a little transition there. And Miles Reynolds has free throws coming up. Ajay Haynes Jones picks up his first foul.
A couple of things last few possessions for Oklahoma. They're trying to get out and transition and really attack before Wichita State settles into their half-court defense. And they're also getting some better movement with the basketball.
Ron Kruger's team back out to a 7-point lead. Kruger, 18 trips to the NCAA tournament, couple of Final Fours, 5 Sweet 16s. Biggest lead of the game for Oklahoma was 9. They led it 15-6. They've got an 8-point advantage here with 2.5 to play in the first half. Haynes Jones, step back, hand in the face, too strong.
Really hard shot at the top. Not a good look by Jones. Haynes Jones can make that shot, but he's got to take it within the context of their offense.
Brady Manick flips it up with the left hand.
Well, there's a tale of two mismatches. Haynes Jones tried to shoot a fadeaway over Manick on one end, and then down the other end, Manick just posted him up. 6'9" versus 6 foot. Old school, the drop step. Go to the rack. Larry Bird, happy 63rd.
Daniel LaRussa's gonna 10-point lead for Oklahoma, 2:06 to play. Brady Manick coming to life. Got the bucket. Nice move down low for Manick, the sophomore from Hera, Oklahoma. He started 5 of 5 from behind the arc against Notre Dame at the Garden.
Yeah, excuse me, all of Boston just texted me and tweeted me. Larry Bird was only 62 yesterday, and that was a Larry Bird type move, just going down in the box, that quick spin to the rim, and really has expanded his game from just being a straight 3-point shooter a year ago.
Foul over on the sideline as Calixte will pick up his first foul. Into the game for the first time, Asbjorn Midtgaard for Wichita State. He's the big tall guy, 7 feet, 268 pounds. See him there at the free throw line. Stevenson straight on 3, dead center. How about that dagger?
Oh, Ron Baker look from the top from the freshman.
Another feed inside, trying to get it to Manick, but Reynolds overthrew it.
We talk about Stevenson. He has that quick release, and coming off that little down screen, doesn't need much room. He brings it up high, locks, and loads.
11th turnover for Oklahoma here in the first half. Dexter Dennis baseline drive. He gets it to McDuffie. All loose. It will stay on the offensive end for Wichita State.
That's why Lon Kruger loves Miles Reynolds. He just put his body on the basketball to try to pick up that loose ball. Toughness.
Shot clock at 5. Torres pulls up from the free throw line, gets it to fall from 16 feet.
Nice job by Torres, and he struggled to shoot the ball coming into this game. He shot it well in junior college, but 15 assists, 1 turnover on the season coming into today.
Ricky Torres went the first 111 minutes of the season without a turnover. Trying to feed it inside. That ball was touched last by Wichita State off the foot. One of the shockers. And Lon Kruger will take a timeout. Inside a minute, a little 5-0 run for Wichita State to turn a 10-point deficit into a 5-point deficit. It's amazing how you make a couple of shots and all of a sudden you can start chipping away at the lead.
Make a couple shots and your defense stays strong. And that's what they have to do. And because they understand Oklahoma they're not as fluid as a team as they need to be, especially without McNeese. They don't have a good inside presence right now. They're trying to force it inside a little bit too much, and relying on James. They need another score. They need Manic to step out and make a couple shots, but sometimes that happens. You come off a 15 for 29 three-point line blitz against Notre Dame, and then you say, oh, wait a minute, we're a three-point shooting team. But Wichita State has taken away the three. They've done a good job, and almost got to handle the ball a little bit better.
Lixty gets it into Christian James. Nearly another turnover.
Handled that screen, the screener, much better on that possession.
Shot clock at 5. Calixte gets inside, kicks it out. Freeman for 3, yes!
Beautiful play by Calixte, just drew the defense. Wichita State overhelped, left Freeman wide open in the corner.
Second 3 of the half for Matt Freeman, and now an offensive foul on Wichita State. Asbjorn Midtgaard picks up the offensive foul. He'll go to the bench. Oklahoma can hold for the final shot of the half.
Now the end of the clock. You know Christian James is going to get the look. They'll try to have him come to the top. They'll set a little pick and pop maybe with him and Manic.
You ever do something for the very first time, decide you like it, and immediately do it again? Christian James' first career double-double in the Garden earlier this week. He's got a double-double in the first half today.
He's going to get a lot of those this year, even in Big 12 games. They know who he is, but he is a super talent.
There's an offensive foul on Oklahoma, an illegal screen on Matt Freeman.
Oklahoma works on that a lot. It's kind of a pick and slip, and the big man's not even supposed to make contact. It's almost a fake screen at the top, but Freeman is a little out of control. See, he's trying to get out of the way, but he gets run into by Torres.
4.8 seconds until the half. And to Stevenson, plenty of time to get a decent shot. Stevenson pulls up for a long 3, too strong. And that will take us to the half. Two guys we talked about out of the gate. Marcus McDuffie joins the 1,000-point scoring club for Wichita State. A first half double-double for Christian James. After this short break, we'll show you an excerpt from the Earn Everything series, an all-access look at Duke basketball. 35-27 Oklahoma at the half. The Sooners with an 8-point lead, 35-27 over Wichita State as we get you set for the start of the second half. Alongside with Coach Tim Welsh, I'm Richard Cross. We came in kind of talking about stars in this game, and those guys performed pretty well in the first half.
Well, they needed to because they didn't have much help other than what they did. Christian James and Marcus McDuffie were outstanding. McDuffie started the game by making shots from the perimeter, then got aggressive going to the hole. He's a strong player who can make things happen from the wing, the top, the box. And Christian James has just been unbelievable so far this season. Just an array of moves and shots. It scores on pretty much every spot on the floor. The pull-up on balance, the great footwork, the ability to go to the rim and finish through contact. And Lon says, keep it going. We need you.
Christian James, first half double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds. McDuffie, 13 points, 3 boards in the first half. So 13 points for Marcus McDuffie, just 14 for the entire rest of the Wichita State team in half number 1. A couple of first half notes, the 27 points that Wichita State put up, their lowest scoring output in the first half this season, and lowest shooting percentage as well.
Coming off almost a perfect, at least half against Baylor and a complete game win a week ago, and so trying to find themselves. This is going to happen with a young team with 8 freshmen. You're going to have inconsistent nights, especially against quality opponents on the road.
Wichita State had a couple little spurts where they made some shots, but they had extended scoring droughts. They had a total of about a 4-minute drought, a little over a 3-minute drought, and then extended periods where they didn't make field goals. Got to try and change that in the second half. The enemy in the starting group for Oklahoma to begin things. Christian James gets into the lane. Manic there for the follow, but couldn't handle it. Torres pulls down the rebound.
And again, the smaller lineup to start the half with Jamani McNeese out with the ankle injury, and they'll bring in Matt Freeman off the bench.
Torres curls to the free throw line. A good look there. Nice shot from Jamie Echenike.
Echenike, as of late, has started to make shots from the perimeter, and Greg Marshall doesn't want that to be his heavy diet, but on the pick and pop that time, he was wide open, had his feet set.
Manick off the mark with a three. Thanks for Dennis rebound.
Manick's numbers are not good on the season from the three, but he shot the ball well in practice, and he shot it the other night against Notre Dame.
Little had it blocked. Echenike with his first block of the game. He's got at least one block in every game this season. Manick still having trouble finding the range.
It looks like he's lost his confidence for the day. Right now he's just throwing it up there, not in rhythm.
He's done on defense. Here's Reynolds off the feed from James. He's there for the follow.
Great play by James. You know, perfect pass to Reynolds. He got a little out of control, drove himself under the rim, and James kept with it.
Tough drive for McDuffie, goes to the floor. Long pass ahead. Manick can't chase it down, and a giveaway by Oklahoma.
This is speed deluxe, and James pushing it, and Reynolds flying up the middle of the floor. Just kind of gets caught under the rim, but James keeps at it.
7-point lead for Oklahoma. Echenike goes to the bench for Wichita State. Udeze comes back in. There's a block down low for Christian James. Was he filling up a stat sheet today?
He's got those long, strong arms, the quick elevation, the ability to blow by you on offense and just defend at the rim on defense.
Some today about Oklahoma's defense. 4 of the 8 teams that Oklahoma has played this year, they've held the opponent under 32% shooting. There's a good look for Bieniemy.
Well, again, that started with Christian James with the pump fake. He drove into the lane, attracted that second defender, found Bieniemy wide open on the perimeter.
Step back, rattles out for Samaje Haynes-Jones. And another turnover by Oklahoma, their 14th.
Christian James, a double-double in the first half, but shown another aspect of his game, the elevation at the rim, and the resistance, and then the draw and kick. And a little bit of an overhelp that time by Haynes-Jones in the middle of the floor.
Udeze. Shot clock did not reset. Nice scoop there by McDuffie.
If I'm Greg Marshall, you better remind your team, I'm sure he does, but sometimes they forget that by far the best player on their team is Marcus McDuffie, and they need to go through him. He needs to get his mitts on the ball, or at least a look on every possession.
Manick, middle of the lane, drops it over.
Sometimes McDuffie just stands in the corner and they run this high pick and roll, and then they kind of ignore him. That last play, he just made it happen himself.
Ricky Torres off the mark with the 3. Still hasn't been able to find the range this season.
Not a good decision though. No pass, quick shot.
There's an offensive foul on Oklahoma. Another turnover, their 15th of the game.
Brady Manick's not making anything from the outside, but he's been in the weight room. He's got a little mid-range in post-game this year.
Heisman Trophy ceremony from New York City. The winner will be a quarterback this year. The question is, which one? Alabama's Tua Tagovailoa, Oklahoma's Kyler Murray, or Ohio State's Dwayne Haskins? Those three guys in New York City for the presentation. Heisman Trophy ceremony presented by Nissan tonight at 8 Eastern. How about that? 40 passing touchdowns, 4,053 yards through the air for QB1 in Norman.
And he can hit the heck out of a baseball.
Run the football too a little bit. 892 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns on the ground. Yeah, what a 6-month span for Kyler Murray. Last spring he had a good baseball season for Oklahoma, really kind of burst onto the radar for scouts. Gets drafted in the 10th round, or excuse me, 9th overall, first-round pick. Decides to come back to Oklahoma, has a season in which he is now the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy.
Well, Marcus McDuffie would like to be the odds-on favorite to get a couple touches. He needs to work a little harder to get open, but he's a little frustrated right now, and just let it be known, which is okay. He's got a lot of young players out there on the floor. He needs to remind them, listen, I need a couple touches. Once I touch the ball, it doesn't mean I'm going to go shoot it every time, but I'm going to draw defenders and make everybody better. And they go multiple possessions without even looking at him.
So a foul on the enemy with his first. Who's your pick to win the Heisman Trophy tonight?
Well, we're right here in Soonerland, so we've got to stay local, I would imagine, but it's such a great sport now with all the quarterbacks that can run and throw, mostly throw. I don't like the old option days. I like to fire that ball down the field. And there's McDuffie.
All touched last by Wichita State. You know, Lon Kruger, he was a high school quarterback, but he was also look at these sweet all-wool high school baseball uniforms. Went on to start Kansas State.
No, those are dry fit.
Are they? The original edition dry fit uniforms. Nice
and cool, sweat absorbing.
Silver Lake High School in Kansas. Lon Kruger averaged 23 points a game. Led the Eagles to the state tournament. He was actually drafted by the Houston Astros out of high school. Decided to instead play basketball at Kansas State. Probably long-term a good career here. Miles Reynolds with the bucket.
That, my friend, was jet quick and fast. High speed, high octane, great body control at the rim by Reynolds.
Biggest lead of the game for Oklahoma. They're up 12. Sooners trying to start 8-1 for the 4th time under Lon Kruger. Good move down low by Echenike.
And they went through McDuffie. And he doesn't have to catch it and look to score every time, but he makes things happen. He's a smart, experienced player. Taking a charge.
McDuffie stands in, takes the charge. McDuffie, 3 years ago, was the Missouri Valley Conference Freshman of the Year. 2017, first team all Missouri Valley Conference. He's a second-team preseason All-AAC performer and currently leads the league in scoring.
He took that charge, and if you've ever been to a Bob Hurley Sr. practice back at St. Anthony back in the day, sometimes they used to warm up with that. A lot of teams warm up with layup lines or passing. They used to warm up by taking charges.
Advised pass there, turnover by Wichita State. Good ball movement. Freeman has it stripped, but he's fouled. They cover about 65 feet of floor without the ball touching the ground there.
They do a great job of pushing it, not only with the dribble up the middle of the floor, but they push it up the sideline and then look for the trailer attacking the rim.
Third foul on Eric Stevenson. Freeman at the line. 11 points against Notre Dame. I think Freeman has 7.
Again, Reynolds and Aaron Calixte have just been fit in like a glove perfectly early in the season. And From lower levels, Reynolds at Pacific, and Calixte played for Bob Walsh up in Maine. And more 9-hour bus rides from Orono to New York City in the snow for Calixte. He gets to fly in the nice Sooner charters. But he was a great player at Maine and spoke highly of the program there while he was at Maine.
For Calixte, he was 97 games in his career, scored over 1,100 points. Last year averaged 17 points a game. His role is a little different this year than it was at Maine.
Much needed that he's fit into this role. He needs to run this team and play hard defense, and that's what they did on that possession against Wichita. They just jammed the dribbler and got up in the passing lanes, and there was nowhere to go for Haynes Jones. He's a little frustrated right now, Haynes Jones. He just can't get in the lane. They're just attacking him. You see the help, the length. Look at everybody up in the passing lanes, just harassing the basketball.
Little scoop as he goes across the lane.
Well, that's the first time, Richard, that I've seen this afternoon that Wichita State's bad offense turned into bad defense. It's just, I think they're a little down right now, and their body language wasn't good on that possession.
Ames got a hand on that one. Shot clock now down to 5. Tough shot, rolls across the rim for Dexter Dennis. Oklahoma trying to pull away.
Calixte might have shot that playing for the Black Bears, but he knows better. He's going to run the team this year, look for the good shots, set his teammates up.
Steps back, tries a 3, got a 3.
There we go. He probed till he created a little space off the bounce. Good toughness, awareness, great decision.
Wichita State will take a timeout, trailing by 17. Danger zone for the Shockers. 11:37 to play in Oklahoma City.
Look at the form I had to hit me.
Wichita State, Oklahoma came in today 7-1 on the year, trying to start the season 8-1 for the 4th time under Lon Kruger. Wichita State, a different looking Wichita State team. 11 first-year players. Wichita State 4-3 on the year. That's massive turnover even in a college basketball world where we're used to turnover.
You know, Greg Marshall talked to us last night about all the firsts that he's had to deal with the last 6 months, and he's been patient. He has. You have to give him credit. It's hard when you've won as much as he has to go through this, but sometimes you just have to take your medicine. And right now, Aaron Calixte is giving Wichita State a little medicine of a veteran, tough point guard.
Calixte's got 5 points, all of them here in the second half. Here's McDuffie, shot clock under 5, lost the handle, got it back. There's a whistle underneath. Wichita State has made just one of its last 9 shots. McDuffie at the free throw line when we come back.
Better than the Sooner freshman point guard. How about that? Trae Young is a show in and of himself.
This kid is the face of college basketball. He just never stops. He plays with an unbelievable motor.
High above the rim.
Oh my God!
Look out!
You don't always get that single player that just takes the entire country by storm. You had it a year ago with Trae Young. Zion Williamson may have had it before he played a game this year for Duke, and then in that season opening win against Kentucky did nothing to squelch the anticipation.
Well,
and he's got more Instagram followers than Trae Young had a year ago.
If I get bored, I still want to pop up that Gonzaga-Duke game and from Maui, just the game of the year so far. And you know you're a great player when you win by 30 and the headline of the story the next day is that you've missed a couple dunks. And that's what happened the other night against Hartford. Missed a few dunks, but we'll be back at it today against Yale. Yes, it's got a little spark. They beat Cal earlier this season, beat Miami down in Miami a week ago. So Yale will not back down, the Ivy League.
At #1 Gonzaga, they will play tomorrow against Tennessee out in Phoenix. #2 Kansas playing at home today, Duke playing at home today.
Right now, Wichita State is spinning, and the experience of Oklahoma is taking over this basketball game. And their defense is now breaking down as well as their offense.
It's been a tough day shooting for Samaje Haynes-Jones. He's got just 2 points. And trying to feed it down low to Doolittle, nearly turned it over, and now he does. Actually, Doolittle bailed him out. Shot clock at 5. Odom's on the drive and the jam.
Well, you have to play for the entire clock. They played defense for about 26 seconds, but excellent defense. But at the end, they just broke down again.
When you look at Oklahoma in this year's Big 12, where do they fit?
I think they're right in the top group. There's no doubt about it. I think when you see the experience they have, it's got to be Texas Tech, Kansas, Kansas State. TCU looks excellent. They just buried USC last night in Los Angeles, so they look like they're going to be a player as well. So I think it's very, very balanced. And Kansas is going to be the top team. Texas Tech obviously is a surprise. Once Iowa State gets healthy, they're in that group as well. That's the top part right there. And
so basically the entire league.
No, I think the bottom part of the league is great. Right now you look at Baylor, they're struggling with a new team. Texas, very inconsistent, lost to Bradford at home. And West Virginia really trying to find himself, trying to replace those great guards that they lost.
Rebound there for Christian Doolittle, junior from Edmond, Oklahoma.
But clearly the surprise so far has been Texas Tech. 8-0, is playing tremendous defense. I think giving up only about 52 points per game.
Calixte going to try another 3. He's got another 3. Aaron Calixte has come alive in the second half.
Very, very confident, under control, explosive, strong, but he needs to create a little space and shoot that soft jumper. He delivers.
Marcus McDuffie. Freeman was standing on the end line there. So a turnover for OU.
And Calixte, when you talk to him, just a confident, quiet young man who's not overwhelmed by playing at the highest level after coming from Maine.
Three off the marker, Stevenson. Reynolds accelerates and 1. Well, Oklahoma's feeling it now.
Now, when you draw up your preseason predictions, you never know what the grad students will do and how will they fit in. First, it's Calixte, the grad transfer from Maine, and now it's Miles Reynolds from Pacific. The 2 fifth-year guys have fit in perfectly for Lon Kruger.
So Reynolds at the free throw line. Scored the final 10 points for Oklahoma in their win against Dayton in the Bahamas. Kind of a closer in that game. Hector Dennis too strong with the 3. And now Oklahoma running out on almost every possession. That time a block. Strong drive along the baseline. Jamarius Burton with the dunk.
Another good-looking freshman for Greg Marshall, and he's got to just sit there and take his medicine, keep trying to get better week to week, and just get this team over the holidays ready for the American, because their freshmen are getting a lot of invaluable experience early in the season. They're not ready for prime time yet, but I think this team will be a tough team by February.
Reynolds' three won't go. Rebound to Udeze. Yeah, Wichita State will open conference play in the American on the road against Memphis. Got to go to Memphis on January 3rd. That's an interesting way to start league play. A lot of hype surrounding that Memphis team with Penny Hardaway's arrival. Some hype around this Oklahoma team as well. They're pulling away down the stretch.
On the core and sit with a surfer, walking on water.
A Health Sciences Center campus, which is here in Oklahoma City. It's the only National Cancer Institute designated cancer center in the state of Oklahoma, and 1 out of 6 Oklahomans who's diagnosed with cancer receive care at Stevenson Cancer Center. They come from every county in the state of Oklahoma. You can donate to help fund cancer research at v.org/donate. Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer.
By NC State naming the Reynolds Coliseum James Valvano Arena at Reynolds Coliseum, and very worthy, and brought back some great memories of great pictures of Jimmy in his days at NC State.
Love life, love basketball.
Or for those of us that knew him, just V. That's what we call him, V. The V. Still will make you smile.
Oklahoma's made 8 of their last 10 shots, shooting 55% here in the second half. The enemy turns down the 3. Maddox got a good look, left it short. He's partially blocked. Burton goes strong to the rim, gets all the way inside and draws the foul.
Brady Manick, if he ever starts making his threes, obviously just another tremendous weapon for Oklahoma. And then McNeese will be back soon. Great trainer Alex Brown been working on him around the clock, getting him ready for the next game. They'll have a week off before they play USC next Saturday night in Tulsa. And Alex working a little overtime, had to put his golf clubs away for a couple hours a day to work on Jimoni. But you know, this is what we do. We compare teams. So last year's Oklahoma team, obviously a lot of hype with Trae Young. But believe it or not, only won 18 games. And really struggled down the stretch. Some people didn't think they even belonged in the NCAA tournament. I think this team is much better. More balanced, better defensively. They share the ball. They're not so reliant on one player just to do it everything every night.
Well, you look at that situation a year ago, and it's an interesting dynamic because you have an absolute superstar and a guy that's good for the game of college basketball, like Trae Young. But sometimes when you've got a guy who is such a gifted scorer, it makes it hard for his teammates to kind of figure out, okay, well, where do I fit in?
Well, here's the thing. All coaches will tell you this, Richard. When you're driving to the arena, you feel a lot better when you have a lot of guys that you can count on. When you have to count on one guy to be above and beyond everybody else every night, and he has a bad night, that means most likely you're going to get beat because those other players aren't ready to step up or aren't used to stepping up in the prime time or in the spotlight. And so they had a ball-dominant player, and they had to go with him, and he was so special. But they're constructed more to Lon Kruger's liking. Let me just tell you that. He's not saying that, but watching his teams over the years, this is a more Lon Kruger-like team. Better balance. They score inside, they score outside, they score in transition, they share the ball, and they really defend.
Stevenson going to try a 3. Extra pass, they get it to Manick. Nice catch. There's a follow down low for Christian Doolittle.
Great job by Doolittle. Just stayed with the play, came from the trailer spot, never gave up on it, expected the miss.
Another strip. James lays it off to Manick. Back to James. Oklahoma will keep it on the offensive end. Two great games coming up later today on ESPN at 3:30. It's Georgetown and Syracuse from the Carrier Dome. Then at 5:30, Ryan Williamson at number 3, Duke hosting Yale at Cameron Indoor. Both games are on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Hey, I have this note here. It says Duke might be looking for revenge on Yale because their men's lacrosse team was beaten last May in the national championship game by the Yale Bulldogs.
Sure, Coach K will bring that up in the pregame speech.
25-point lead for OU, 5:03 to play. Udeze with the foul, his second.
And although it's not the same as when Syracuse and Georgetown were both in the Big East, that game still has that sizzle because there's some hate there. It's always good when there's a little hate.
Juice to that one, right?
There's a little juice. And that's not hate between Jim and Patrick Ewing. It's more the fans in that uniform.
Udeze pulls down the rebound. So big picture on the Big 12. You talk about the top half of the league. You've got, 1, 2 national championship or Final Four contenders. You see a couple?
Well, I gotta see a little bit more Texas Tech to see how they are offensively. If they can, win on the road, you've got to be able to score. Azubuike's out with the ankle injury for Kansas. He'll be back though. I like K-State. The way they finished a year ago, obviously getting to the Final 8, they've got everybody back, all their big pieces. I think they're going to be there as well. And seeing TCU up close and personally the other night, even though they lost really 2 great players in Williams and Brodzianski up front, I think they're better defensively this year, and they're more of a Jamie Dixon type team, and they were certainly impressive last night. Alex Robinson leading the nation in assists.
It feels like Oklahoma as 8th in the Big 12 probably is not where they finish.
No, but everyone, West Virginia is the team probably picked too high, and Bob Huggins would tell you that. They're just really trying to find themselves at the guard spot. They've got a really good front line, but they've had multiple people trying to earn that spot, the point guard spot, the 2-guard spot, and they've struggled early in the season to score because of a really lack of good production from the guard position.
Burton shoots an air ball. 26-point lead for Oklahoma. Not just their biggest lead today, their biggest lead of the season. A year ago, it was Oklahoma going to Wichita and pulling off the upset. These two teams met a year ago. Wichita State was ranked 3rd in the country. Different story today, under 4 minutes to play.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Offensive end from the perimeter, sharing the basketball on the attack. They can play big, they can play small, they spread the court. They've got the 5th-year players really taking over the game down the stretch. Calixte and Reynolds, and the New Zealander with a little tongue out.
Oklahoma on its way to its 8th win of the season, and in all 8 wins this year, they will have had at least 3 players score in double figures. Balanced scoring, even though Christian James is the only player averaging double figures for the year.
Guys like Doolittle and Odoms, they've played a lot of games, and they know their role. They're tough defensively. They can make plays when they have to. And get the superstar in James, but he doesn't act it. He shares the basketball. He's been a great leader. You talk to him, he's just having a lot of fun with this group.
Greg Marshall has seen enough. He was teed up by Owen Short, and Doug Sermons gave him a long look there a second ago as he continued to talk. Miles Reynolds will go to the free throw line. Reynolds, I told you earlier, best free throw shooter in the Big 12 at 90% for the year.
Craig didn't like a couple of the things he said. Owen didn't like his invitation to get a steak after the game.
Be a little built-up frustration and maybe some cumulative. You never got a tee though when you were on the sideline, right? This didn't happen.
Well, listen, he wasn't demonstrative. Who knows what he said? I'm sure it wasn't good, but sometimes I will tell you this: the great veteran officials, they understand the frustration of a Greg Marshall and who he is. You know, an elite coach, frustrated. You know, blow the whistle, calm him down, maybe have a little jawing session with him, but you know, teeing him up in a 28-point game, I don't get it. Back in the old days, we'd just get nose to nose and call each other bad names, and then they'd walk away and we'd walk away, and we both got a little steam off our chest without anybody getting hurt.
Brady Manick picked up his 3rd foul.
But everyone's so sensitive these days, Richard, so you got to be careful.
I may just leave that there.
All right, on the court I'm talking about.
Yeah, 3.5 to play. Torres on the drive. Nice find and a good finish there for Adeze.
Well, Greg's teams always do one thing: they play hard, and that they continue, even though they are getting beat up here, playing hard, going to the rim.
Near turnover. Pola lays it off the glass. And he wanted a foul, too. He was like, hey, what about the whistle?
Pola throwing his body around on the interior from Finland.
He gave Lon Kruger a couple of pretty good energy minutes in the first half of this game.
He sets that big pick. He's got that big, strong body. I mean, there's something to be said for a guy. Look at him to wall up on the inside.
As they draws the foul, he's got free throws coming up. Tonight, after the world title fight wraps up over on ESPN, stick around for Sports Center with Bucci. John Anderson. They'll have an exclusive interview with the Heisman Trophy winner. Who's that going to be? Highlights of the 119th Navy-Army, or Army-Navy game if you prefer. Plus Stephen A. and Teddy Atlas with live reactions and analysis from tonight's fight. Christian James gets a nice ovation as he goes to the bench. James will finish with 14 points and a career-high 13 rebounds today in 33 minutes.
Well, this is a nice series that Oklahoma and Wichita State have had, and even though it's the blowout that it is today, they'll meet again next year in downtown Wichita, so these youngsters will grow up fast under Greg Marshall.
Wichita State now is on
Morris.
12. His third.
Udeze with the foul, and free throws coming up for Aaron Calixte.
Aaron Calixte, 2 shots.
Oklahoma is going to move to 6-2 all-time against Wichita State. You know, the schedule this year for Oklahoma has been interesting. This is their 9th game of the year, but it's their 7th game away from the Lloyd Noble Center. A week from today, they're going to play Southern Cal, but they're going to play them in Tulsa. Lon Kruger's really looked at the value of playing road games and neutral site games and how that affects the net, which is the new ranking RPI in the past.
And by the way, they're 16th in the NCAA net, and that man just doesn't coach the game. He studies it, he understands it, he knows that you've got to play people to get into the tournament. And obviously, the league will bring enough power once that comes, but they've handled the non-conference very well and stood the injury to McNeese so far. We're going to need him in the Big 12, though. His big body up front, play against those terrific frontline players in the league.
Ronnie Brown for 5. That's his first. And it's the 18th foul.
2:09 to play. Wichita State sitting on 46 points. And it's just been a tough shooting day for Wichita State. Tim, just 24% from the field. They've gone 14 of 59 and 5 of 26 from behind the arc.
Well, Lon Kruger's teams over the years, if you followed his teams, you say one thing: they are very, very balanced offensively, but defensively they're locked down. They don't gamble, but they're efficient. They do a lot of switching. They give a lot of help. And they make it difficult. They make you take tough twos. And this team reminds me of some of his older teams, his Vegas teams, his better teams here at Oklahoma, even going back to Florida and Illinois. And that's where Wichita State has struggled this year. They just have not been able to get anything clean going to the rim or from the perimeter.
Pola pulls down the rebound. Hannes Pola inside. And another whistle.
Manic has really worked on his footwork and as far as catching the ball and making plays around the basket, but also just kind of being physical and carving out space and demanding the ball down there.
I think that Lon Kruger would like to see maybe a little more efficiency from Brady Manic. He's got 7 points and 3 rebounds today. He's got to make shots.
He does, but I don't think Lon's worried about that. I mean, because he's averaging 9 rebounds a game, which is a big jump from a year ago. And as he said he's made shots in practice. He's kind of one of those kids that, really worries about making shots because he doesn't want to be known just as a shooter, but he's got such great ability to stand still and knock it down from the outside. He's a little frustrated over there, but he's played a good physical, especially on the defensive end of the floor game this afternoon.
That's Eli Farrakhan, number 11, hit the jump shot just a moment ago. First-year walk-on Eli Farrakhan getting a chance to play today. Under a minute to go. 28-point lead for Oklahoma. When they jump into Big 12 play, nothing like starting on January 2nd on the road at Fog Owl.
But again, you pointed it out. I mean, we got USC, who's a little bit down. But then Creighton and Northwestern, and you got to go to Northwestern, Creighton at home. So
there's some work to do before they get to the start of Big 12 play.
They're going to be ready. If they're physically healthy, they're going to be ready. They're going to be battle tested. And played Wisconsin tough for a long period of time in the Bahamas, so that he knew what he had, put together the schedule.
Not there. Polo with an offensive rebound, and he's got free throws coming up. Hannes Pola already has 4 points in the game today, which is a season high and a career high. He's got a chance to add to that total. How is Oklahoma different when Jamuni McNeese is back on the floor?
Well, he's a guy they could throw the ball to down on the box. He's high percentage, 58% from the floor. He can get to the free throw. He's not a great free throw shooter, but he's also more importantly, he's a clogger in the middle defensively. He's a space eater. He can help off the ball. They can pressure a little bit more because he can roll over. He's a good shot blocker and just a dominating kind of a physical presence defensively.
20 was the largest margin of victory all year for Oklahoma prior to today. They win this one by 32, 80-48 over Wichita State. Good win for OU.
Very good win. Tapped the buzzer, defensive effort. Then they got their offense flowing into half court, made some shots, got out in transition, and then executed into half court.
Oklahoma now 8-1 on the season. We talked about it a little bit. Coming up next, they've got Southern Cal. They will host them in Tulsa. That game is on ESPNU next Saturday night. You'll get a chance to see them again, and it's an Oklahoma team that seems to be growing.
They're growing, and Lon Kruger tested them early, and it's paid off, and they'll be ready for the Big 12.
For Wichita State, a team that's going to try and get better, they've got to continue to try and grow as they get to conference play, right?
So many freshmen. They've had some good moments this year, but they need to grow up a little bit quicker getting ready for the American season.
So we are in Oklahoma City today, where Oklahoma and Wichita State meet up for the third consecutive year. 2 years ago, it was Wichita State winning here in Oklahoma. Last year, it was OU going to Wichita and getting the win. And today, a convincing win, 32-point victory for the Oklahoma Sooners as they improve to 8-1 on the year. And kind of a final thought, Tim, as we wrap this up from Oklahoma City, this win today and how good it was for the Sooners.
Well, again, they showed great balance. Christian James, they're going to rely on him on the offensive end of the floor, but really good team defense and great production again from Lon Kruger's 2 grad seniors and Calixte and Reynolds, giving them nice minutes. They're gelling at the right time, heading towards the Big 12.
80-48, our final here in Oklahoma City. Coming up next, it's BYU and Utah. Have a great rest of your Saturday.
It's Speed Week